Hello everyone. We are not in Woodland Caribou. In fact, we are not anywhere close to Woodland Caribou. You see, as the snows are about to fly and there's not much in the way of paddling opportunities in Woodland Caribou, there's not really much to do and you can't backpack or hike. But what we can do is we can get in the truck, travel almost 3,000 kilometers out to the interior of British Columbia, all the way on the west coast, up over the Rocky Mountains, now into the interior. And that's where we are. And I'm gonna be here now for a little while. I don't know, maybe 6 weeks, 8 weeks, whatever it takes to just explore this incredibly rugged and just wild area. I mean, I'm in awe right now just going through the mountains. And even though we're not in the Rocky Mountains, the interior British Columbia here has larger hills than anywhere in Ontario. I mean, it's crazy. And I just drove out of rain and into snow, as you can see. They got a series of logging roads here, and that's what we're using. Their logging roads are a little different than Ontario's. Same deal with no cell service and no services, of course, but just huge elevation changes, and you really got to have your wits about you. Weather can really come in quickly, from what I understand. I've never experienced it myself, but I likely will. And yeah, this is going to be awesome. Totally new adventures. Still gonna do the whole bushcraft thing, making fires, chilling out with the dog, who is right there with us. But just a different deal. So let's see what this area has to offer. We're gonna have fun. Let's do it. All these logging roads are a little bit different. Maybe not in their general makeup, but the fact that these trees are massive and that there's fog everywhere. It's crazy. Lots of fog. Look at all that fog. Alright, so let's head down these roads. This is all new for us. Again, like, I just got here to BC last week, and it's just about finding new places to explore. And they have a serious network of logging roads, just like we have in Ontario, but their landscape is a lot different. A lot of hills, a lot of mountains, a lot of really rugged country. So looking forward to checking this out. All right, so these logging roads are just, like I said, so different. This whole area is just so different. Aside from the elevation changes and the fact that there's like these massive cedars and balsam firs like I've never seen before. They're just huge. British Columbia has these recreation sites, and you see this logging road that I'm on, it's a pretty major logging road, and they are actively logging it, and there's areas that were logged in the past. There are these recreation sites, British Columbia recreation sites, and they're like every 5 kilometers down the road here. And when you get to them, I mean, there's like infrastructure there. We don't have that in Ontario. There's like picnic benches and big campsites on logging roads, and they're maintained by the BC government. I think that's kind of cool. I think it'll get more people out than would have normally gotten out, because where we're from, you know, near Woodland Caribou Park, we got lots of logging roads, but you got to carve out your own site. We do have some campers that head down, and when I say campers, I'm talking like the big, you know, trailer campers, the big style campers. And when they head down our logging roads, they just kind of pull off somewhere in a widening of the road. But these guys have infrastructure. I mean, some of these recreation sites have like 20, 30 different campground sites, I guess you could say. I think it's pretty cool. Anyways, I'm rambling about it, but I've never seen it before. I think it's kind of a cool deal, and I think it gets more people out, and that's a good thing. I mean, check it out. It's kind of neat. You have picnic benches right there. Yeah, you got toilets. Anyways, it's just very, very different. And I looked at a Backroads map book of this area, and these recreation sites don't stop. They just keep going and going. It's like they're everywhere. It's pretty cool how British Columbia is organized in that fashion. Now these are obviously larger sites, you know, for campers or whatnot, but yeah, it's kind of cool. A little different. Gotta get used to this. The goal of today is just to check out these areas and see what's out here, because it's just It's just so different. It'll be good. And it's midweek now. There's nobody out here. This is awesome. Whole new world to explore. So it's time to bushwhack. Have no idea really where I'm going, but gonna go somewhere, I guess. Actually, I do have an idea. I shouldn't say that. There is a lake down here that I saw on a map, but we just got to get to it. So, gonna lay the Hansel and Gretel footprint tracks down and head out to the lake, see what we can find. Right now, that's all I can see. Look at that. Not much going on there. That's alright. This is all part of the fun, right? New places to explore. Backpacking, hiking, canoeing during the season, I guess. So check this out too. This is all new to me. I get all excited and horned up. I see stuff like that. That tree is massive. That's several feet around. That's crazy. We don't grow trees like that up in the Woodland Caribou. Alright, onward we go. Alright, well that was fun. Found the lake. Stood through there. Trying not to kill myself coming through here. It's a little bit different. She'd be a little bit different. Still gotta find my way back out of here. That's gonna be fun. We'll come out here to the lake. Ooh, getting rained on with all this heavy wet crap. Oh yeah, there's the lake. Well, that was fun. I think the dog likes it. Hey, buddy. All right, let's get out of here. So rule number one about not getting lost is knowing which way you came from. And here, and all the alders and the willows and everything. I mean, I got no clue. I got a dog, but I gotta tell you that after so many years up in Woodland Caribou, coming to new environments, coming to dense forests like this, it's a different deal. And you really gotta have your wits about you. I forgot my flagging tape, and I never should have done that. So I'm gonna make sure that on my next outing, we have flagging tape. That would be smart. Because out here, where I am, with so many different arteries on these logging roads, like, I'd be done for. There'd be no hope. No one's coming to find me. So these are the forests that I came here for. These are the big giant spruce forests. This is what I want. These are the forest types that I'm used to. You get up here in the canopy, get inside these forests. It's like being at home all over again. The only difference is trees are a little bit larger, but take a look. Looks welcoming and inviting. I like it. So more of these, that's what we need. Look at the old man's beard right there. So one of the things that I'm noticing right away too is just how wet, moist everything is. So we're up here in the mountains and there's fog all the time, moisture, and lots of snow this morning anyways. So everything is just wet. Like even these low-lying branches here. So stuff like this, branches that are just hanging from the tree back home. These would be really dry right now, but they're soaking wet. So it's kind of odd. Everything is just wet. Wet, wet, wet. But that's okay. If we want to get a fire going, we'll get one going. Yeah, so we're just driving down these logging roads, and this is kind of what you come to every once in a while, is just this little area that says recreation site. And then you just drive into them. It's just so different. These aren't provincial parks. These are just like recreation sites, just like what it says. And like, you just hop on in. Looks like somebody was nice enough to make us a snowman. Check that. Damn snowman. Anyways, it's kind of a weird situation out here, but we'll get used to it. Alright, so I believe that I found the forest that I'm looking for. Today anyways. Every day will be different. But this is it, man. This is the spruce and the balsam fir. This is good stuff all around. Look at that. I can work with this. I think we'll set up right here. It's one of the things that I noticed right away about these forests, because the trees are so tall and these spruce just head for the sky looking for sunlight. It just it takes out all the sunlight. There's no sunlight in here at all, so it's kind of ominous. That's the word of the day, ominous. But we can work with this. Lots of standing dead trees, a couple trees that I see falling down. That guy right there. See that? So we can cut that up, get in some good dry wood, get going. Alright, let's do it. What do you think, Keto? Hey. New home for a little bit? What do you say, buddy? I don't think she knows what to make of this, really. She's kind of been acting weird. Hey, buddy. Yeah. That's alright. Yeah. I don't know, like, this is challenging, to say the least. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that these are the most challenging conditions to getting a fire going or to finding material that I've ever encountered. You see, back in the Boreal of Northwestern Ontario, we got that magical thing that I've taken for granted all my life called birch bark. And with birch bark, I can get a fire going. Doesn't matter how wet the birch bark is, you can peel into the layers and just get things going. But out here, there are no birch trees. I have not seen one yet today. I imagine that there's not many around in this specific area. So I tried cutting into some wood and splitting it up, but that wood that I grabbed was a little bit moist inside too. It's just all different, so it's just going to take me a little bit of time to adjust, to see, to know what to look for, right? Again, I'm being thrown into a totally different landscape, and this is awesome for me because it's a challenge, and that's what I wanted. I wanted to challenge myself and my skills in a completely different area. Even the stuff that is either standing dead or suspended is soaking wet. So just to give you an idea, like this stuff right here, it's just rotten. Look at that. And in the Boreal Woodland Caribou, when you get these spruce trees, their limbs are always dry. These ones are soaking wet and wet right through. A little bit different. That's all right, we'll figure it out. Gonna get a boil on with the Bush Buddy stove. Get some wood cut. Just tap split it, I guess, and then get some coffee on and chill out and kind of see what's going on in this forest. It's just so different. It's so weird. Foreign is a good way to put it. It's very foreign to me. And yeah, it's just a different deal. But that's okay. It's always about adapting, right? I mean, that's really what this whole deal is about. Is I wanted to check out areas that were just so different from what I'm used to seeing up in Woodland Caribou, up in the Boreal Forest in Northwestern Ontario. So you come all the way out here, British Columbia, interior British Columbia. This is wild country. I mean, yeah, maybe it's just because I'm so used to the environment around Woodland Caribou, but this is just a different deal. It feels wild. Not more wild, it just feels wild. It's different, and I think that we all, as humans, kind of fall into this trap where we get comfortable in a situation or comfortable in a spot. We always keep going back to the same spot over and over again. And when you get to something foreign, there's just something, I don't know, maybe euphoric about it, or nervous energy. Like, I know that traveling down these bush roads makes me feel different than the bush roads that we have in the Red Lake region. And some of the bush roads that I go down in Red Lake region are like 150 kilometers long. Like, there's no help out there. There's nothing out there. But it feels like home to me. I understand that area. I know the complexities of the wilderness there. Here, it's completely different. It's just different. I don't know if I'm just rambling now or just how I can better explain it, but it's very different. It feels very wild. There are mountain lions out in this forest, so maybe that's why it just feels very different to me. There's big predator cats running around. No grizzlies where I am here, but of course black bears, but I'm sure that they're probably getting ready to hibernate. But anyways, I digress. Let's get a boil on. Let's get some wood cut. And let's drink some coffee out here. This is my ever trusty heavy cover titanium canteen. This thing goes everywhere with me. If you guys are ever looking for something different than an Nalgene bottle, these things are really durable. He sells them with the canteen part and the mug, and they all kind of fit into each other. And then I got this from Lost Wild Outdoors. This is the Pathfinder stove, and that's just a little Twig stove. Everything just sits in there nicely. Alright, good deal. That's my Cook Custom Sewing 10x12 steel nylon tarp. This thing is a lifesaver. Already this morning when I drove through here, we had like tons of snow and rain. You can still see some snow left on the ground here. It's obviously warmed up quite a bit since it snowed this morning. But having one of these is bomb-proof, whether you're in Red Lake, Ontario, or anywhere in Canada. Having a tarp to get under is a blessing. And there's lots of trees here to tie it out too. And yeah, have a tarp, bring a tarp, lifesaver no matter what the weather conditions are. So out here with everything just being so wet, stuff like this that's suspended up off the ground is probably going to be my best friend for the day. Just take a moment to limb that. She's pretty wet, so we'll cut into her inside and see what happens. Well, it's not the driest wood, but it should do the trick. Pretty moist. I think I'm gonna look for some other stuff.
This is the hour, the darkest place. Dante's Inferno, the devil's maze. It's a good world, good world going bad.
Everything is just completely saturated in here. Yeah, so I split this stuff down, but even inside, it's soaking wet. So I have to do this the old-fashioned way with twigs, and we'll just have to get them going. And once we get them going, it'll be fine. Just have to get a fire going. Find some dry twigs. Alright, so if any of you saw my last video, we had just like horrible conditions. We had snow falling on the tarp. We were in the middle of the Boreal Forest by Woodland Caribou Park there. But even though everything was soaking wet and it had been freezing rain and snow, the lower branches on the black spruce tree was dry. You know, I could harvest them. I could break those twigs off, those sticks off from the lower reaches of the tree, and I could use them in my twig stove, and at least we could get a fire going. That is not the case here. Everything is just absolutely soaking wet, damp, moist. I've tried now for about the past 10 minutes just to get a fire going with the twig stove, and it's just not working out so well. However, I remembered that I had this in my kit. This is just a piece of fat wood. I bought this at a local camping shop for like $3. I don't even know why I bought it, but I did. And so right now in this forest where there is no birch bark, which is something that I probably could have used right now to get this going, I'm just going to get it going the easy way. I'm going to use the fat wood, and inside fat wood is a high resin content, and that resin is going to keep a flame. It's going to create a hot flame, and that's what I need to just ignite this moist, damp wood. Once it's already going, I can keep it going even with some wet wood. Not worried about that, but I have to get it started. And like I said, if I had birch bark, it wouldn't be an issue. But in these forests, you know, like I don't see any birch anywhere. So yeah, I guess it's cheating, but sometimes you got to use the tools in the toolbox to get stuff done. So all I'm going to do is just take this piece of fat wood here, and I'm just going to create some shavings with it, with my knife. Some nice curls. Just like that. And I can smell that. I mean, that is just pungent. It is so resinous. So I'll just throw all this stuff in here into my twig stove. Just throw some of that in there. Yeah. Think it'll take a spark? Guess we'll find out. Just gonna take that lid off there for a second. There it goes. Look at that. She's igniting already. So I'm just gonna get some twigs in here. Get this going. Look at that go. That is awesome. Fat wood, guys, fat wood. These really small pieces of wood. Again, like everything is just so wet. I can't believe how wet everything here is. It's crazy. I've never seen anything like it. But you gotta work with it. You gotta adapt. Finally see the sun, first time in days here. Well, let's hope that goes. I think it'll go now. This has been like the most difficult little fire I've ever really had to get started. So today what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna actually make my coffee using this little French press here. I'll show this to you guys here in a second. I'm just gonna get this on. That'll stay. So I got this little French press here. All you do is you just fill it up with coffee grounds, add your water, screw this on, you wait a couple minutes, push down, and away you go. This is made by Espresso. It was a gift from my wife. See, that is a thoughtful gift. Giving the gift of coffee. The gift that will just keep on giving forever. I like it. Coffee is everything out here, guys. I like it. I like the fact that I finally got this Twig stove going too. Like, this one's been a little torturous to get going, but we got it going now. Oh yeah, we got this going. We've got this, right? I guess. Oh boy, it took a little bit. I will take those snowy conditions that we had a couple weeks ago any day over this. This is just miserable. All right. That's crazy, you know, just having to adapt to changing conditions or to new conditions. Like, I've never been out here in British Columbia, let alone gone into the forest to make a fire. Even something as simple as a twig stove fire. And this was winning. The forest was winning. It just goes to show you, you know, you just always have to adapt. You should also research the areas that you're going. I never did any research in this area. Maybe I would have found out that this was a pretty damp forest, and it's always a damp forest up here in the higher elevations. Maybe it wouldn't have said that, but I would have been more prepared. And I mean, to take an hour to get a twig stove fire going, you know, back in Woodland Caribou Park, back in Ontario, the Northern Ontario forest that I'm used to, I would have had a fire going in 20 seconds. If I can't get a fire going in 20 seconds, I feel bad about myself. And then yet here, just completely different. So it's sobering. It's a humbling feeling for sure. And I'll just work at my craft. And that's really what it's all about, I guess. It's just learning. I've never had to work so hard to get a fire going. Never even thought about having to work so hard to get a fire going. But maybe that's just how things are going to be out here. That's alright. You learn, you adapt, change your mentality. But one thing that won't change is how good this coffee's going to taste. This water's almost ready. I finally found some semi-dry stuff. Just peeling off the bark. But this is wet. This is really moist stuff. But as you can see, We still got a fire going. That's all right. We got the sun coming out for the first time in days. And that's all right. Oh yeah. Don't judge the nabob. It's all I could get on my way out this morning. I'm kind of a coffee snob when it comes right down to it. I like good coffee. Stuff that's made in small batches. I actually got a guy that I met in Costa Rica that sends me coffee. He's got a coffee plantation. Really small coffee plantation. It's not a commercial one. It's just like his own hobby, I guess. And he took me out on a little bit of an adventure. I went all the way up in the Costa Rican mountains, and we went to his family's plantation, had a full day with him, had lunch and meals with his family, and drank some moonshine that his family had made. I have no idea what it was or what it was made from, but I trusted him. Anyways, I get beans sent from him, which is pretty cool. Special. Life's all about the little things like that. So all I did here is just put 4 teaspoons, or whatever that is, MSR, titanium spoonfuls, into the mug. And we'll just wait for this to boil off for a second, and then we'll enjoy this coffee. Alright, well, not really a moment too soon, because just keeping a fire going here is really getting difficult. Just perfect amount. So give that a little stir. I'll grab our little plunger with a little bit of the forest floor on it. And we'll just let that sit for, I don't know, 2 minutes maybe. Cheers. That is way better than instant coffee any day. So, as I was discussing earlier, I'm going to be out here for a while, just exploring wild British Columbia, not the mountains, not the Rocky Mountains anyways, but the interior forested areas, these massive black and white spruce forests that are just seemingly endless, and just seeing what else is out there, really. It's an exploratory trip, I guess you could say. Maybe it's not even a trip, it's just an adventure of many, many trips, and that's what it's going to be. So, be back in Red Lake, doing our whole winter thing, you know, once the snow flies and stays for the season, and once the lakes are hard. But for the next couple months, I'll be out here in this crazy, wet, damp forest. So, yeah, gonna enjoy this coffee. Guys, if you get a chance, please do subscribe to our channel. It's really fun doing these videos. Let's get the word out about all these cool adventures that Canada has to offer. Not just Woodland Caribou, but Canada as a whole. And we'll see you guys on the next adventure.
Will I cry? Will I leave behind broken and crumbled signs, hiding all my roads to you? And if I find